Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about uplifts in a Revenue Cloud. So, how you can manage uplifts around renewals, either with fixed unit price uplift or through price revision policies that allow you to take into account CPIs when you are generating uplift at renewal. So, what is a price uplift first? Right. So, that's going to be your mechanism to manage price increases on recurring subscriptions at renewal time. Right. So, you sell a subscription for $100 today, it renews in 12 months. Then it needs to get a 5% uplift at time of renewal. So now it's going to be 105. So how are we going to manage that in Revenue Cloud? You will be able to communicate those potential changes upfront on your initial sale, right? Because you can capture that on your initial quote and then obviously expose that in your output document. And then it will be applied automatically when you get your renewal quote generated. The business value obviously is to monetize ongoing investments in your product supports, right? And minimize impact of customer attrition, deliver max ACV through your renewals, and uplift dollars will be depending on business policy, right? But perhaps count towards bookings for renewals for your account team. Skipped one today. So there will be two types of uplifts available. So you can do negotiated through a flat percentage field called Unit Price Uplift that you're going to be able to use on quote line, on order product, and all the way to your asset. It can change throughout the life cycle, right? But when you get to a renewal quote, then that unit price uplift will be used to calculate the new net unit price. You can also build it through price revision policies that still offer you the possibility of having a flat rate, but they also offer you the possibility of using formulas and to build CPI-based uplift values, right? So they're going to be changing throughout the life cycle, right? So maybe today the CPI is 2.5 and you're applying an uplift of CPI plus 3%. So that's going to give you 5.5, but maybe the CPI in 6 months is now 3.5%. So now it's 6.5 that's going to apply if anyone renews at that specific point in time. So let's look at how we can do this. So we talked about uplift basics. We're going to talk through fixed uplift, then CPI uplift. So first up, what if we want to do fixed price uplift as a percentage that we can set on the initial sale and have the value carry through to the asset and then through the renewal. So we're going to be able to set it on our initial sale, then order and assetize our asset. We'll have that unit price uplift, and then that's going to be taken into account when we generate our renewal quote. What goes into this? So we're going to add the field on our quote line editor layout so we can modify it. Then when we get to the asset, we must ensure that you're using last transaction as the pricing source. If it is set to list price, then uplift will be ignored. And the asset must be a term subscription, not evergreen or one time. So let's see what that looks like in Salesforce. Jumping into Salesforce, let's see what this looks like. So I've got my quote pre-built already. Got a subscription product that's valid for a full year already added on here. Now we want to test out what we do if we want to uplift this through a flat percentage. So there is a field on the quote line called Unit Price Uplift. So if we have a look at our quote line, it's not in the layout, but if I click on my product here, we're going to see that we have Unit Price Uplift. So if we modify that Unit Price Uplift, then we have it right now. Now, it won't affect the initial pricing, right? On our initial quote, we're simply tagging what this will be when we do get to the renewal. If a note on if you do use REM deal for groups here, if you have a REM deal with groups and you have multiple years 2 and 3 and the following years will all get that uplift applied as of your initial deal because it is a multi-year deal. So it will be treated as an uplift on that initial deal in that specific scenario. But if it's not that scenario, if you only have one line and you're applying uplift, then we can modify that value and it's going to carry through the lifetime of that quote line and onto our renewal. So let's test that out. So with my quote line selected, I'm going to hit edit, and then I'm going to apply a 5% uplift on this. So I'll use 5 as my unit price uplift here. Hit save on my quote. Now make sure my quote is up to date and refreshed. From here, we're going to go ahead and create the order for this quote and see how this works downstream. So I'll go ahead and hit create order. We're going to create obviously a single order here. Hit finish. Now my order will get created in the background. We're going to get a link. There we go. Our order is created. We've got our order product that matches here as well. Now, if we take a look at our order product before activating this, if I go in and view, we'll see that our unit price uplift has carried through on air, right? So we've got that 5% that carried through from our quote line. So going back to our order, we're now going to activate and launch the asset creation flow. So moving this over to activated, we'll mark as current status. It's going to launch our Assetize order flow on the background. Let's give it a couple seconds. And then moving on to our account, we should have assets created. There we go. So we've got our asset created for our yearly subscriptions. It runs from now through next year. And if we click through that and hit view on our asset, we'll see that our unit price uplift carried all the way to the asset. So it means that if we set this up correctly and launch a renewal, that 5% will now be used as of our renewal. It can always be modified at any point in time before you actually process a renewal, right? So if the rules change or it's based on something else, you can come in, change that. So I said earlier during the presentation, the pricing source does need to be set to last transaction if you want this to work effectively. So we're going to go ahead and set that to last transaction, then go back to our account. And with that set, we're going to be able to launch our renewal and get that 5% to apply against our asset. So let's go ahead and from the Manage Asset viewer, select our asset, hit Renew. We're going to process an automatic renewal. And from our automatic renewal, we're going to get a quote in this case, because that's how the standard flow is set up. Now we can tell that our list price is $2,400, but because of that uplift, right, that applies that 5% uplift, now we got that $2,520 price. That's worth $120, so 5% of $2,400. So that uplift applied as expected. So that's the very simple 5% flat unit price uplift that should apply on renewal. Obviously, if we keep going through that flow, right, and create our order and then re-assetize, then we're going to get our asset to update. So the asset will get marked as renewed, and we'll see that update in MRR as well, right? So I've activated this. It launches the assetize order flow again. If I go back to my account and look at the asset, we see it's been renewed, right? So the end date is now in 2028. And if we click through to view our asset, we'll see that we now have multiple asset actions and multiple asset state periods that track changes in monthly recurring revenue, changes in quantity, our business category, right? So we had our initial sale at 2,400 and then our renewal that's now at 2,520. So that's the flat unit price uplift using the unit price uplift. If it's in the standard pricing procedure template, it may not be accounted for depending on where you're coming from. So it may be set up for price revision policies, but not for the unit price uplift. So if it's not, make sure to test that out and make sure that it is supported. In my case here, I ended up adding an element to allow the standard uplift to apply on this. So I'm applying a filter to make sure that the lines match what I want to do. And then I'm applying my calculation based on net unit price and item unit price uplift. So moving on to the example where we're going to use index rates, price revision policies to do uplifts based on pricing policies and CPIs. So going back to our presentation for a second, a couple things that go into this, right? So our price revision policy is going to define the CPI that we're using and the spread that we're using, right? So you're going to be able to build a formula, and we're going to see what that looks like to say, here's how we're calculating, right? We're taking the max of either 8% or CPI plus 3 or min. However you want to calculate this, you're going to be able to do this. We do need to create index rates as well. Those are created per region and time period. So you can have index rates that are valid for a specific amount of time and then move on to the next period, right? So add an end date, create a new index rate, and the current index rate that is valid at the moment of renewal is the one that will get used. Do keep in mind that index rates are based on a decision table, so you will need to make sure that that decision table is refreshed. And obviously your pricing procedure does need to account and have the price revision element. It is in the standard template, so if you are using the template, that price revision element should be on there and should be supported. Price revision policies can be either flat or be based on a price index. So the example we just went through with that 5%, you could do with price revision policies and simply have a flat policy set to 5%. Or again, you can base this on a price index where you're going to leverage that in the current CPI plus a spread, or simply the CPI if you want to use simply a CPI, cap it at a maximum, like the example here where we're saying the max of 10 or price index plus 5. And that's the formula that you're going to use to calculate your uplift amount. And so let's jump back into Salesforce and see what it looks like. So the first thing we want to set up here is going to be our index rate. So our CPI that's going to apply right now. So I'm going to create a new record of index rates. I'm going to give it a name. So let's call it simply CPI. let's assign a rate, so the current rate for the CPI, right? So let's say that this is currently 3.5%. Obviously, again, that's going to evolve, right? So we're going to define a start date and an end date. So we'll say that this one was valid from March 1st. We won't add an end date for now, right? But if in 3 months you come back and need to update that rate, then you would add an end date, right, to June 30th if you needed to, and then have a new index rate that starts as of July 1st, for example. We'll make sure we set this to active. We're going to define what region this is valid in. So the region pick list may be blank by default in your environment, so make sure you go in and add values. It could be that you're using the same CPI for all regions, so simply create one that's very generic. But let's imagine that we set one up for Canada right now. Usage type is going to be set to pricing, and I'm going to save my index rate. As I said before, that index rate is a decision table. So you will want to make sure that every time there are updates happening through this, and you could do that through Flow. I've got a video that explains how you can automate decision table refreshes, but I'm going to go ahead and do it manually through setup, decision tables, and then that index rate. I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Now that this is done, I can go back to my price revision policy record. So I'm going to look for price revision policies in the app launcher. None exist so far. So I'm going to create one, create a new one. Let's call it CPI plus. The type, again, here could be flat or price index. For this example, we want to use price index. Effective from, we're going to set to March 1st. Again, those could be date gated as well. Region, we're going to match what we have because that's going to allow to match to the correct index rate. And then you can build your formula, right? So you can select what you want to bring into this, right? So we're going to select our price index. Functions, you can do max and min. Let's do, as our example stated, we're going to do a max of either the price index, let's do this correctly, or 8%. Remove everything that's left here. Remove this up front. So what this means is that our uplift will be the max of, sorry, let's do price index plus 5 or 8%. So whatever is the greatest value will be what's used for our uplift. And once you're done, you can save your updated formula. That's also going to be a lookup that's available on your quote line, on your order product, but not on the asset, but on the asset state period. We'll see what that looks like. So let's go back onto a new quote that I've got created. Same thing again, same product, same price to start off with, same dates. If I click on my quote line item here, we'll see that we already have unit price uplift because this one was cloned. So let's go in and edit this. We're going to say we're going to remove the unit price uplift and choose our price revision policy we just created, CPI plus. So that's what we're going to leverage for renewals. Let's make sure we refresh our pricing and our quote to make sure it's all updated and ready to go. Do this again. All right, still processing. So let's give this a second. There we go. And now we can create our order. So same flow here, right? We create the order, activate our order, and see what the asset that's created looks like. So I'm going to go ahead. We've got that the price revision policy does follow through to your order product. I'm going to hit activate. This launches our assetized flow again. Let's jump over to our account. The account should show us the managed asset viewer. There we go. So we've got two of those. So we've got the asset that we already renewed earlier and that new one that we just created. If I click through to view my asset, we'll see that we don't have a unit price uplift. We do want to make sure that our pricing source, again, is set to last transaction. If we want this uplift to work, obviously that's something that you would typically automate, right? Set a default value through a flow on asset creation to make this as easy as possible. And if I want to see what price revision policy is used, if I click through on my asset state period, let's see why we're not getting a page layout. All right, so nothing that a refresh could not fix. So we get our asset state period that shows our MRR, our quantity, and it also shows our price revision policy. And we also pulled in the formula from that price revision policy. What this looks like afterwards, once we do get to, to renewing this, right? So we're going to go back to our account, select our asset. So we know that the asset is set to last transaction. We know we've selected our price revision policy. So I'm going to go ahead and select my managed asset, hit renew. Again, we're going to do an automatic renewal here. And that's going to generate our renewal quote, which should take into account our uplift based on that price revision policy. So let's see what we get now. There we go. So our list price, $2,400. Our renewal is now set to $2,604. So that's an 8.5% uplift because we set our formula to be the max of CPI plus 5. We set our CPI at 3.5% or 8%. So the greatest was 8.5, and that's what got applied at the time of renewal. So again, renewal uplift can be handled a couple different ways that we just talked about. Obviously, again, if we take this all the way, we're again going to see our state periods update, and we're going to see all that data flow correctly to our asset and get accurate MRR based on the uplift that has been applied at that point in time. So to summarize, two mechanisms, either the unit price uplift or based on price revision policies, which can be a fixed or a CPI based, configure through as simple as the unit price uplift or true price revision policies, index rates. Always make sure your pricing procedure takes those into account. Your renewal flow, if your asset is set to last transaction, will take those into account. Again, based on how your pricing procedure is set, make sure you respect. Obviously, that only applies for term-based product, not one-time or evergreen products. So keep that in mind as well. And as usual, thanks for watching. Please let me know if you've got any questions. Reach out with questions. Always happy to help, and have a great day.